garden. 2 trees growing on the banks of the stream. A tall tree and a small tree. And that small young tree, it knew how to wave and dance in the breeze. It knew how to be very flexible. And when the wind blew, it enjoyed changing its perspective. It enjoyed just dancing and moving and dancing. It would see so many things when it changed its perspective. And that big tree was so inflexible. It used to envy the small tree, but it was a little bit scared of changing its perspective. It was a little bit nervous about it. So one day it asked the small tree, "How do you do that? How do you change the way you see things? Change the way you enjoy things?" And the little tree said, "Well, you must kind of let go and just let it happen." And so the next time when that wind blew, the big tree really wanted to let go. And the little tree said, "You can do it. You can make those changes. No need to be afraid. Your roots go down deep in the ground, and you can have inner stability, even though you're moving with the winds of change, enjoying the dance, that inner dance of life." And that big tree was so happy, feeling its way into a new way of seeing things. And because it had a new way of seeing things, it also had a new way of recalling things, bringing back images when it wanted to recall the dance. And that big tree also learned as it got more flexible in its behavior and its perceptions, that what it thought was the horizon was really only a limitation it was placing on itself. And as it danced and swayed and danced, it could see further and further, fields beyond towns. It could even see the sea in the distance. And it was so happy to have a new way of seeing things, so happy to know that it could recall in a new way pleasant images, pleasant memories. And while you're pondering on these thoughts, you lay back on the grass and gaze up at the clearest of blue skies, just wondering about those 2 trees. And as you relax more and more, your eyes begin to close, and you just drift off into a deep and relaxing sleep. And as you sleep, you have a lovely dream, a beautiful dream. You dream that your whole body is becoming lighter, lighter and lighter, so light that you feel you must surely begin to float on air at any moment. And then you feel yourself just floating and drifting, gently borne aloft and supported by the softest of warm breezes. And you can somehow see, through your closed eyelids, that you're floating in a sea of colour. You're floating in a warm sea of colour that relaxes and comforts you as you just drift, suspended in warmth and colour that seems somehow unreal, and yet at the same time has a comforting, familiar feel to it. You're aware of misty reds and orange, soft, muted yellow tones, gentle greens and blues that seem somehow like clouds, and the deepest, softest indigos and violets that you could ever have imagined. And it begins to dawn on you that you're floating in a rainbow. And in this rainbow, time and space doesn't exist in the same way that we usually know it. You might have floated there for just a moment, or for 100 years, maybe for a lifetime, or just perhaps for the blinking of an eye. You could have floated forwards in time, to a time that could be well into your future, or maybe back in time, back into your own lifetime. it gradually begins to seem to you that you might even be able to float here for just as long as you wish, with this wonderful relaxed feeling, just floating and drifting through this magical sea of gentle flowing colours, where time seems to be suddenly of so little importance. And you're still pondering on these thoughts when you feel yourself beginning to float gently downwards, lower and lower, softly sinking down through this beautiful rainbow, becoming even more relaxed, even more lazy, until eventually you realise that you've stopped floating downwards and you find yourself on the shore of a tranquil lake, a large tranquil lake, surrounded by softly rolling hills that are shrouded in a gentle silver mist. There are trees and sweetly scented flowering shrubs, and grasses growing at the water's edge, and everything is bathed in a beautiful golden light, a golden light that seems to bathe everything in its warmth, and you find yourself marvelling at the sense of deep calmness and comfort that seems to fill your entire being as you stroll lazily along the sandy shore of this wonderful lake, noticing with a sort of lazy curiosity that it seems to be constantly changing colour, subtle changes blending so smoothly that it's difficult for you to know exactly when limpid blue has become a deep, soft violet, or when that deep violet became a relaxing, translucent green. The changes of colour fascinate you, and you settle yourself down onto a small, smooth rock and just gaze out across the crystal clear waters. Every so often, something just breaks the surface, creating ripples that seem to flow gently and endlessly in all directions. Ripples that eventually lap against the edges of the rock that you're sitting on. You smile and lean forward to dabble your hand amongst them, and as you do so, you create yet more ripples, ripples that shimmer in a kaleidoscope of different colours across the lake, interacting with the others and making new, ever-changing patterns. You realise that this tranquil place is the pool of all knowledge, that while you're here, you are a part of everything, and everything a part of you. And you find it easy, so very easy, to open your mind, to let go of any barriers to learning, to let go of any barriers to change. While you're here, your subconscious mind has confirmed that it's helping you to relax, helping you to cope so much better with life, and giving you a confidence within yourself to deal with any situation that life has to offer. Your subconscious mind has also given you a new understanding of yourself, and this understanding gives you the power to make vital changes for your benefit. So now, with every day that passes, your confidence is increasing. The confidence of knowing that you're capable of doing whatever you set your mind to, with a positive attitude and a quiet strength. Now, more and more, you become aware of a transformation taking place in your personality, and you're adopting a more positive outlook on life. You believe in yourself more every day, and you're learning to act boldly, realizing that you are fully capable of making the proper decisions and having the confidence to carry them through. And with this new understanding, and with your new relaxed attitude, both towards yourself and towards others, you realize that you are gaining control.